Hi everyone. Before we're going to talk about EduScrum and before Willy gets here, we will give our opinion about EduScrum. Well, that's very bad. When our naughty professor starts experimenting with EduScrum in our classroom, we thought he comes from another planet. So our first lessons were a big disaster. Indeed. Oh, there he is. Well, it's our best and nicest teacher, Willy Wijnand.
Thank you. That was a surprise for me. I don't know what I'm going to tell. Welcome. And I thank you all that we can talk about EduScrum here. I heard that this is the whole picture from the whole keynote. When you look at the words, collaboration that gives you wings, and EduScrum turns education upside down and gives students a free rein. That's everything. You use Scrum and then you're finished. Minimal viable product. I need a paper because I'm not Jeff, so I must read it by the book, and I look sometimes at you. So, sorry, Jeff. I'm Willy Wijnands, a chemistry teacher, and I work now for 40 years at the same high school, the Aschheim College in Alphen aan den Rijn. And I still love my work. And all my classes are self-organized. It was a form of organizing, where I know nothing about it. The Aschheim College is the cradle of EduScrum, and my directors of the school give me the trust and the freedom working with EduScrum. I'm the founder of EduScrum, and I took 5 students with me. So get before me, that was not right. With me, so they can tell their own experience working with EduScrum. Okay. Arno Dalheij, he's sitting there. Yeah, with him, I wrote the EduScrum guide. And he is one of my beloved team members, and he gave me great support. When and how did it start? And why? The why is very important. It started with a bottle of beer and a barbecue. In the summer of 2011, with Mark Rijn. He's sitting there. And when he wasn't born, then I don't stand here for talking about EduScrum. Then EduScrum didn't born. He was a sparkle. He initiated it, and that he was initiated and inspired by Jeff, sitting there. Thank you, Jeff. And Mark explained EduScrum to me, Scrum to me, not EduScrum. Scrum to me on one single paper. That's the whole course. This is what Mark write to me, and this is Scrum. One lesson, that was all. So, why must we change the educational system? Because the world is changing very fast, and we must adapt to this change. I believe that agile education suits the needs of the fast-changing educational market. The education system and workforce of tomorrow has to cope with these changes. Unfortunately, the current educational system is absolute, and this creates a gap between the educational offer and the market requirements. So, could EduScrum become the connecting element? It is a way, EduScrum is a way of agile in education. EduScrum is only a tool. So, I now show you a video. I hope this will work. Why we must change. Yes.
There has never been a bigger force for change than technology. It changes absolutely everything about the way we live, the way we get around, the way we eat, even the way we talk to each other.
So, that's why. Why? Why is, for me, one of the important things to tell about. When you do teach children, I always tell them about why I'm doing this, why I'm teaching this, why I love children, and so on. But when we go back to the educational systems, there are three fundamentals underlying. One, alteration of the examination. There's more attention to the focus on developing the student for the 21st century skills. Collaborate, communications, and ICT skills, and 7 or 8 other skills. Second, change of the demand of society. Knowing your qualities, but also your flaws. The time of the individual at the workplace is over now. And my third, and my personal mission as a teacher is, besides the subject I teach, I want to learn the students to develop themselves as a human being and let them make progress in their personal qualities. The teacher, I am a teacher, but I'm a teacher, but I'm not anymore the sort of knowledge that was 50 years ago, maybe. Now everybody has Google, so when you don't understand something, you click on it, ready. Also, the attitude of the students must change, and that is a big problem. Many students lay back if they were in a movie theater. Children must come out of the cinema attitude. Moment. My paper. So. In August 2011, the summer was the beer and the barbecue. In August 2011, I started one class using Scrum to try out if it works in the classroom. And in the beginning, I was surprised that it is working. So I began to use ADOScrum in all my classes with success. But how? Simply by using Scrum. So maybe Scrum and IT is saving education. The students working together in teams, in an active, effective and efficient way, and they have more fun. So how did I try to change this way of working? So now I'm going to tell you a secret. Everybody knows, but I will tell the secret. The secret is I give the student ownership of their own learning process, but most of all, trust. The students take the responsibility for what they do because I give them the freedom and the space they need. The effect is that the students are more engaged, more productive, and their results are better. They discover who they are and what their abilities are. It is such a wonderful experience to see them developing themselves. So, by giving the students the freedom to run their own class and learning process, they become beautiful people. Freedom is acknowledge of borders. When you have no borders, that's not good. This is why it works. And the role of the teacher is changing into a coach and a counselor. And everything is built on the principles of Scrum. Transparency, inspection, adapt, and trust. And working in short cycles, and the framework, of course. ADOScrum is an edit of Scrum, a tool for an active educational system. Students make assignments in teams, in accordance with a steady rhythm, the sprint. They plan their own activities and keep track of what the progress is. The teacher determines the assignment, he coaches and counsels. ADOScrum have the same items like and Scrum, and some extras. 3 roles, 4 ceremonies, +1. 3 lists, +1. One of the lists is definition of fun. You have definition of done, we have definition of fun also. And I don't invented it. The students by themselves invented it. Now, This is designed by an artist. She designed it for me, Alisa. I talk a story about Sangen. Sangen is coming from the East, from Aikido. And I use this also in Eduscrum. The triangle stands for focus and initiative. The 3 angles of the triangle stands for the 3 aspects with which the students develop themselves with Eduscrum. So on the subject, in the team, and their own personality. The circle stands for movement and the connection of these 3 aspects. It is to the teacher that he constantly moving into another role. A teacher is both a product owner and a Scrum Master. That's also different from Scrum. Product owner, when a teacher is a product owner, when the subject is the focus, product owner, when the subject is the point of focus. He's a Scrum Master, when the team is the point of focus. And he's a coach, when the personal growth is the point of focus. The square. The square symbolizes stability, borders, and structure. And you can see we have some extras. We also focus not only on the subject and the team, but also on the individual student development, because the personal growth is important in education. So we have also an extra addition in the ceremonies, and this is a personal and team retrospective based on qualities. So, how do we form teams? With Eduscrum we create teams of 4 to 5 students. We can't a student of 4.6. That is impossible. Jeff told me that, but I can't do 0.6, 4.6. You do? Oh, okay. So we work together in an energetic, targeted, and effective and efficient way. And all team building is building on trust. When there is trust in a team, you have conflict, but not in conflict of arguing, of a fight, but open communication. When these 2 are connected, then in a natural way they come commitment. When these 3 parts working together, accountability is the result. And we want results. When you have trust, conflict, commitment, and accountability, the results will be also a good one. The teams are formed by the students themselves, are built on trust and qualities. They select each other based on qualities. These qualities can be planning, creativity, math, designing, leadership, and so on. So the result is that the students discover hidden talents, and they got more self-esteem. They go out of their best 5 qualities to choose from a long list of qualities. And these qualities they share in the class. At the first time, I choose the Eduscrum Masters. I call them also team captains and make them the first team members of the team. They are not the boss. Then they choose a student with a missing quality they need to make their team complete with the right qualities. So the team must be a good mix of boys and girls. So, as a teacher, so you are always the product owner, always, because you have to determine the assignment. And the teacher is also the Scrum Master in the beginning. But after a while, the Scrum Master goes down. I hope here. The students who are just working together are not a Scrum Master yet, but they're growing. But I thought for 2 months ago, they cannot become a product owner. It's impossible. They become product owner. They show it to you. This is a surprise. They become product owner. I don't believe it, but it is true. So, as a planned items, as a teacher, I decide what the assignment is. And the next 2 lessons, each team makes an own schedule for the work in the coming period. And all the planned items are placed on the product backlog. The best way of giving an assignment is to give a context-based project, an open project. Each task get Each task should get an amount of value by using points. The points are estimated by playing the game of planning poker. We use the planning poker cards as our own mobile phone planning poker app. Cards, you don't use them. This gives the students the insight of the amount of work that needs to be done over a long period of time. Then they also make a definition of done and a definition of fun. These are agreements about the qualities of the products, and the fun is working together with pleasure to meet the acceptance criteria. So, I don't understand, but I try to translate it. The minimum least is note is 6.7. Here they write down, learning good and doing your best. This is first class, 12 years old. Don't cheat by the other groups. Make your summary and make your questions. I don't want to hear standing, but that I don't dare to translate. Don't fuck. So, first class. I don't teach that. So, here's the flap we use. With the items we use from them. So, each team make their own flap with a task written on sticky notes. These notes are put on a large sheet we call the flap, and you know it as the Scrum board. At the beginning of each class, all students run into the classroom. Is that right, Jeff? You see it? Yes, Alisa see it. Peter, Jan see it. So run into the classroom, I do nothing. They are talking with the visitors. And each team puts a flap on the wall and gather around it. Then the startup begins by themselves. And my class is fully operational. During the stand-up, they calculate their task and task done by homework. And you don't believe it, but they gave their own homework. Is that true? Give our homework? Give our homework? No. Okay. Okay. The team captain, the Scrum Master, will guide the process. Will guide the process of the Scrum, so they can start with the project. The team works. This is nervous. The team does the work and decides their own process. Mostly, there's one team member that understands these things better, so he explained it within the team. During the class, there's one central moment, max 10 to 15 minutes. That's enough for the children. For discussing experience difficulties. This is a moment for me to explain the learning materials. As a teacher, I'm only involved when the team gets stuck. What is this? So, when the team gets stuck or moving in the wrong direction. First, I let them understand what they don't understand. Then, I give them a little push back on track. And now, by fully knowing what they didn't understand, they receive knowledge. And for me, that is teaching. By walking around and looking at the flaps, I have a quick impression how a team is progressing. The flaps give everyone transparency, also about the other teams. The progress is easy to follow on the burn-down chart. At the end of the class, the teams fold the flap, and the team captain put the flap in the art folder. At the end of the sprint, each team will do a review on them, achievement, and discuss how to do things better next lessons, and then decide what they are doing well or need to be brought changes in the process. The sprint is determined by me. So they need to make a little check or doing an investigation or an exercise. But sometimes they decide by themselves what they will deliver in 3 classes. When the project is complete, at the end of a period, the team will look at the process, the subject, and they make a test. And the test is not only for my class, but all classes from my school, with working with or without ADOScrum. So, also they will look at a personal contribution and how the team functioned as a whole. With this observation, they lay the foundation for the next project. At the end of the project, they will do a retrospective on their achievement, and discuss how to do things better next project. Next to that, we also introduce student reflections. Each student will evaluate in a team himself and the other teammates on their qualities and skills. They will be trained in a self-reflection and give feedback to themselves as well as to their classmates to continuously improve their own learning process and the team working process. How can I improve myself? How can I improve others? How can we become better as a team? What did I learn at my team members? What did I learn from my team members? Results. In Dutch school, 5.5 is a positive grade on a scale from 0 to 10. For us, unacceptable. With ADOScrum, the goal is to receive a grade above 6.7. 6.7 is a magic number. When I did the Scrum Master training with Jeff, when I get a 6.8, then I will get my Scrum Master certificate. Yes. So 6.7 is this reason for the 6.7. That's the reason it's come by you. Then we get qualities. When we have a 6.7, then we get qualitative good students. And above 6.7, we acknowledge that the students fully understand the stuff they learned. But what are the benefits? What does ADOScrum bring? Creating self-driven learning students. The results are astonishing. Classes with ADOScrum finish weeks earlier. This year, my 8 third classes finished 6 weeks earlier. 6 weeks, and very high grades. And the results are, on average, are the same, and mostly up to 10%. And most important, the students go through a strong and positive personal development. They get to know their qualities, and they find out how to use their own resources. They do the work in teams to motivate each other. They learn how to plan, how to cooperate, and how to give each other feedback. It takes a responsibility to their. So they take the responsibility for their own work and their work as a team. How do I control this process? Simply by not controlling. Students doing that by themselves. They are in charge of their own learning process. So you can see and feel the energy. You see the enthusiasm. And most of all, they're having fun. Students are focused, hardworking, and motivated. So I'm almost ready. And now I go to tell what my students did. Students want to learn. And they teach us how to learn. And this team, they call themselves the Edu Innovation Team. Designed by one of the team members. And they will share their experience in implementing Scrum in education and the benefits EduScrum brings and how they can become a product owner. They make a booklet, two booklets. One for the classmates, how they want to learn, and also an handbook for teachers. Yes, that is important. And so they can manage the students in a way they want the teachers. Teaching through the eyes of the student. Yeah. I'm now finished for 5 minutes, 1 minute I think. Please come.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm a 16-year-old student from the Asram College in Alphen aan den Rijn. With EduScrum, we learn to work independently by making the planning by ourselves, deciding when to do what by ourselves, and fulfill your job on time and as good as possible. At the same time, we learn to work together by working in a team. Together with your team, you manage the flop and you make sure to produce a good result. To get this good result, you have to work together and have a clear vision on your goals. By working in a group, you will have a better end result, while also having it be done in a shorter amount of time. Besides, when you work together, you learn a lot from your group members. What we are learning right now with EduScrum, both working together and carrying the responsibilities ourselves, is very important for later in your life when you're looking for a real job. And that is why I am happy we are working with EduScrum.
First of all, I will say that it's a pleasure to be here. And we're gonna... And we're gonna tell about our experience and our opinion.
Well, I'm Noah, this is Bart, and we are 16 years old. We are from the Asram College in Alphen aan den Rijn. And today we are going to share our experiences with EduScrum.
Yeah, well, our first experience with EduScrum were very bad. We had a German teacher who gave us EduScrum, but she doesn't know enough about EduScrum. She thought, like, they plan everything and I can watch and do nothing. But that's exactly where it goes wrong. The Scrum Master have to know everything about it and have to help the rest of the team. But if the Scrum Master explains everything well, how things work, it has a good influence on the rest of the team. And you will see that EduScrum really works. Well, I'm sure it didn't work for everybody, but that's the advantage of EduScrum. Nobody learns on the same way, so everybody can pick up the best.
With EduScrum, you mainly work in teams. For example, if someone doesn't do his homework, you cannot transfer the sticker to done, so you are interdependent. You also learn to use your abilities. The teams are made up that way. You also learn to discover abilities you never discovered before. That's why abilities are very important. In short, EduScrum is a way that helps you plan in a different way. With EduScrum, you will mainly work in teams. A collaboration that gives you wings. Das war's. Dankeschön.
Well, hello. I'm Pauline. I'm 16 years old, and Willy have been teaching me for 1 year now. For me, this was the first time I got acquainted with Ediscrum. Other pupils who had worked in a wrong way with Ediscrum before start complaining immediately. But after an explanation, I thought it was a good concept. I got interested in the idea of an organized planning, transparency, and self-motivation. Before I start with Ediscrum, I hadn't been good in planning my homework. We only use Ediscrum in our chemistry class now, and planning my homework is much better now. When class starts, we first make a stand-up, so we can see how advanced we are, and we discuss how everyone is doing. One moment I had enough of it. I like planning this way, but you are partly dependent on your team. And the last period, we were behind with our homework, so we start smuggling, and we hang the memo post-its to the next stadium. That wasn't very smart of us. So you need to have a lot of self-discipline, and my opinion is that the teacher is very important to develop the pupils' discipline, and Willy is a good example of such a teacher, so ask him the ins and outs.
Hello, my name is Amber. I'm also 16 years old, and I'm also on the Arsham College in Alphen. Ediscrum is a good working method that helps with the planning of your project, which you can see where you're at and what you still need to do, what you're busy with and what still needs to be done, what your acceptance points are and what your independence. A method where the group are chosen based on qualities and not the standard groups with your friends. Willy selects mostly 5 Scrum Masters at the beginning of a project. The Scrum Masters choose their team based on the qualities of the other students and have to explain why they have chosen them. I think this is a good working method, and it's working very well because you're in a team with as much as quality as possible, and so you have a very strong team. Maybe you even speak to people you otherwise never would speak to. But there are also downsides, as the making of the flap and post-its take much time, because you have to write all the post-its and draw the whole flap. But the end result may be there. Also, if you don't write down the work you have to do at home, or made a picture of it, you don't know what to do, unless you have a super memory and you can remember it. For me, there are more plus points than downsides, but I don't want to use it in every lesson because then you don't like it anymore. Danke fürs Zuhören.
Blijf staan, blijf maar staan. Kijk toch. So, I'm astonishing. I didn't know this either. So, I'm almost ready. So, I'm working now for 5 years with Ediscrum, and I think Ediscrum, that's it. It is beautiful. but I changed my mind. Why? Arno and me, Arno? Yeah. We were in Orlando with 11 other people, to totally 13. With one other school, a very initiative new school in the Netherlands also, the Agora in Roermond. And we talk about agile in education. And we worked there we stayed there for 1 week, and we work day and night, and putting a lot of words on sticky notes. And after we finished, we have an open space, a little try out workshop, and we make something new. And that is more beautiful than Ediscrum. We call it Agile in Education Compass. This one. You can download it, agileeducation.org website, or you can go to the Ediscrum website, and then you can read the story about this. This is a journey from prescriptive to iterative, from content to culture, from evaluation to visual feedback and reflection, from control to trust, for cooperation to for competition to collaboration. I'm finished now, and now I want to many thanks to the whole organization. Jean-Pierre Berger, Alisa, Stolze, Jan Fischbach, Marco, Christina, Peter Fischbach, Monica Berger, and all the others, I don't know the name. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, Arno, these protagonist and teachers, we give a workshop from 9 to 11. From 9 to 1 o'clock, about little workshop about Ediscrum, how to can use it in the classroom. That's it.